Hello everybody and welcome back to the Guardian Legend. Today we will be starting the first part of the Crystal Caves, and we will not be getting a password. We have quite a bit of ground to cover, but don't worry, we'll be getting something that will help us out with that. There's going to be something new on the enemy front in this area, but not immediately. However, it does require certain special things to deal with. And looks like we have a world boss already. God damn it, you've outgrown your welcome there, sir. However, we do get a power-up to the Ripple. That will actually be useful to us. Because now the Ripple can destroy shots. There are plenty of power-ups to find around here and pretty densely packed too. See, another blue lander. I don't know why I stayed to fight those guys. There's no point. At least it's not like Golvelius where monsters will continue to spawn from there until Doomsday. Okay, this is a bit of vague. What it means by fire into the corridor, it means you actually need to shoot at the screen that displays the corridor number. But I'll be showing that off in the next video. There's too much to explore right now. Well, now the rotating barrier is fully powered up, and let's see what it looks like. The downside is that it drains chips very quickly. For that short amount of time, it drained 90 out of my 400 chips, so I'm going to have to wait for some upgrades before I can use it properly. Well, at least I got some enemy erasers for my trouble. Speaking of which, see these things? These little replicating Jolly Ranchers? You can't destroy them with normal weapons fire. However, the enemy eraser is not a normal weapon. Thank you. Those are an easy way to get power-ups, especially because right above him is a mid-boss, well, world boss. This one can be a bit tricky because it fires these fast homing shots that you can't actually really evade. However, you can destroy them with the fireballs, so... However, it's a bit of a tough thing to try to destroy them normally. So the best thing to do is try to put yourself so that the shots will be between you and it, and you shouldn't have too much trouble. And for our troubles, we got a defense power-up. There are a lot more defense power-ups in this game than attack power-ups, so I think they really expect you to lean more and more on your special weapons as the game goes on. Now that warp panel we passed by would lead us to another corridor room, so we don't need to go there quite yet. Okay, clear all that mess out of there. And get a power-up to the grenade. This will greatly increase the grenade's blast radius, and I'll actually be using it for a little bit. Having a sort of video mandate to show off all the weapons means that I'm actually using a lot more of the weapons than I normally do in a playthrough of this game. Normally I have just a few that I stick to. Still, I'm glad that all those kinds of options exist, because there may be people who are better at using certain weapons in this game than I am. I consider this not just a possibility, but a certainty. I am very much the low man on the totem pole when it comes to shooter proficiency. Thankfully, the way back into Area 0 is not far. And the way to Area 6 is just one warp panel down. Unlike, say, Areas 3 and 4, which are across the map from each other. We already know how to open this one because we found the room with the instructions in Area 0. So you clear out this mess. I really should have opened that last item box. And world boss already. This is when the mole men start to be a bit of a menace because they spew out much larger numbers of enemies than they did in earlier areas. Thankfully, our saber is still more than up to the task. Okay, once you get the 5th defense power-up, the Guardian's movement speed increases rather significantly. This, of course, means further exploration videos are going to take less time, but I consider that a reasonable thing for the extra ability to avoid things. Of course, one of the big adjustments I had to make for this game was dealing with the fact that the Guardian actually has a hitbox that's about her actual size of her sprite. More enemy erasers? That is to say, more glitch exploiters. Oh dear, my navigation has begun to fail me. This is quite a problem. Even though you have a map in this game, it just shows you the shape of areas. It doesn't show you how they're laid out or anything, or how they connect. Kinda like the basic map in La Mulana. Only I'd say this game is somewhat more forgiving. Let's see, some more health. Nothing here. Speaking of which, I probably should sometime get around to doing a boss compilation for the La Mulana remake. the ones I did for the original game are still by far my most popular videos. And I can't get through that warp panel because I don't have the key. So there's really not much more to this area. Well, besides this world boss. And I powered up my fireball, which means it too can now destroy shots, and I'm gonna need the help. One more giant enemy crab, please. Aiming up and shooting is all you really need to do to keep yourself from getting hit. And it also ends up spawning a bunch of power-ups, so it really won't be a problem. And my reward, though you couldn't actually see what it was a red lander which doubled my max chips. Which means I can actually go buy an upgrade I couldn't afford in Area 0 until now. And in there is just the last mandatory corridor. So that's it for this video, and I'll be seeing you next time when I do the shooting stage.